There's no denying that Paris is a beautiful city. Over 30 million people visit each year. But would Paris be a travel destination if you were visually impaired? When many people think of Paris, they picture things like the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and the Mona Lisa. But what if you weren't able to see these things? What if you weren't able to see anything? Because we noticed a relatively large amount of visually impaired individuals in the city, we wanted to know what it would be like to be a visually impaired tourist in Paris. With this in mind, we set out to answer the question, is Paris a good destination for visually impaired tourists?
I think you can do it. Vous pouvez le faire en bus parce que évidemment c'est pas la même chose, mais en bus vous avez quand même les explications audio. Vous pouvez entendre absolument tout, toutes les explications à propos de Paris. Donc le bus c'est l'open tour qui visite la totalité de Paris, du nord au sud et d'est en ouest. Et chaque fois que vous allez passer devant quelque chose d'intéressant, vous aurez un commentateur qui vous expliquera.
Each member of the group was blindfolded and led by another member to a place they had never been before. Their experiences at Notre Dame, Père Lachaise Cemetery, the top of the Eiffel Tower, and the Jardin du Luxembourg were documented through footage and interviews. The FAF was formed in 1987 and has 131 different bureaus in France. It is the #1 foundation in financing research in the field of ophthalmology. The EBU was founded in 1984 and is part of the World Blind Union. It consists of 45 different member states with its headquarters in Paris. The EBU works on anything that may come up in another member state that has any impact on blind or partially sighted people.
2 months, there will be a project called intergenerations.eu on the web, which is going to be finished, and it's well marked by the European Commission, so I guess it will be enjoyed by a lot of European visually impaired.
Donc effectivement des plans adaptés, de grand format, personnes qui ont du mal à lire. Et également un partenariat entre la RATP et les associations de malvoyants et de non-voyants de façon à traduire en braille ou à numériser les plans de façon à ce que les personnes puissent repérer à l'avance le trajet qu'ils ont à effectuer.
The metro serves as Paris's major transportation system. Carrying over 4.5 million passengers a day, it is one of the densest networks in the world. It has been said that every building in Paris is within 0.3 of a mile of a metro station. We chose to travel by metro in our experiment not only because of its important role in Paris culture, but also because a visually impaired resident of the city said the metro system and the convenience it provides is what makes Paris so great.
Because there is a lot of subway, and I can go everywhere.
While being blindfolded on the metro, 4 major things were most difficult. We seemed to be oversensitive to crowding, creating paranoia and a more uncomfortable commute. The gap between the platform and the metro was a difficult obstacle which varied in size from station to station. Locating the Navigo sensor and proceeding through turnstiles was also a challenge while being blindfolded. Finally, pinpointing our location was made most difficult by the inconsistency in the announcing of the metro stops.
Attention à la marche en descendant du train.
In order to better understand stop announcement on the metro, a log was kept for 10 days of all metro use. The line, total stops, stops announced, and time of day were all recorded for each metro traveled. 83% of the stops on Metro Line 1 were announced. 65% of the stops on the RERB were announced, and finally, 58% of the stops overall were announced. In an analysis of the time of day and the metro stop announcement, the likelihood of a stop being announced increased as the morning progressed, peaking midday. This was followed by a trend of decreasing announcement into the evening hours.
Going to the top of the Eiffel Tower, the 3 things I noticed most were I was more sensitive to sounds around me, my perception of height was off, and I wasn't able to tell who was around me all the time.
At the Gardens of Luxembourg, I noticed most the change in terrain, fresh air, and change